Underground Arsenal.
Underground Arsenal show,
You know,
on the Raw 808 Underground Radio. Make sure to get that out.
get it.
And if you miss a show, go to the uashow.com.
Log on.
Yeah, and this DJ Fatal Skills.
Lebronx up
And
there.
M80.
Yeah, and this week we got a very special guest.
Very special.
The beautiful, talented Queen Herawin from the Juggaknots.
Salute.
Hey, peace. Thank y'all for having me. It's fantastic.
No doubt.
Here. It's fantastic to be here. Took me long enough.
Right? We've been trying to we made plans before the album came out.
Busy.
Yeah, this is how we roll, man. It's just life be life, and as they say, do they still say that? Hopefully,
Yeah.
I still say it.
Yeah.
So
But yo, to start it off, Queen Herawin, man, just let the people know who you are, man. Who is Queen Herawin?
That's a really good question. I question that. So yes, Queen Herawin. Let's see, MC, educator, visual artist / painter once in a year, mother, sister to the amazing Breeze Bruin, the amazing Kev Fever, daughter to some fantastic parents. So yeah, Queen Herawin, all those things. And the Juggaknots, obviously. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm like, my brothers, doesn't mean that. No. Shout out to DJ Boo as well, of course. But yeah, Juggernaut member, not just via crew, but actually those are my brothers, my actual brothers. So family.
It's all in the family, word.
Yes, indeed.
Word. And just let the people know how you got started into making music.
It's a really good question. Well, as I mentioned, my brothers, Breeze Bruin and Kev Fever, growing up, music was always in the house, originally from the Bronx, even though I'm not in the Bronx right now myself, but my brothers still are. And so, you step out of the house and there's music, hip hop was just part of my environment growing up, right? Yeah. Slick Rick, literally, Northeast Bronx as well, and so many others, obviously, KRS, so hip hop was just part of the upbringing from an environmental standpoint. It's where we were, it's what it was. And so privy to that. And then within the house were, these creative geniuses, in my opinion, making just some incredible work at that time. And I'm the youngest. So I was just listening, watching, going to studio sessions, and secretly kind of writing. I was inspired, of course. And initially my brothers were concerned. They were like, you're too young to really be part of all of this. They were in clubs, they were out super late. I was still in high school at the time. And so it was a developmental thing. I mean, I was becoming who I am now, like we all usually do, a little bit behind the scenes.
Right.
Or it evolved into something physical in public where people were seeing that. And eventually, between becoming what felt decent enough of age and also honing my skills enough that they were like, okay, she's ready or ready enough. Then I just started rhyming. It wasn't an immediate thing. I mean, I've been writing since I was 12. I would say for me, I got very serious around 16, and things like Lyricist Lounge, I was probably about, I don't know, maybe 17 when I wrote Wait. So, again, it started early, but then maybe about 4 years in, it got serious.
Now, I do remember I heard you on a joint for a Pawnee B, Fly MC, with Helix C, Armageddon, Jean Grey, a.k.a. What?
At the time, what, yeah.
Yeah, Estrogen. That was like the underground version of Ladies First.
Yeah, I mean,
sort of, right?
Yeah, it was like a female, I guess, and Wu-Tang. At that time, it was like 7 of us, at least for a track, not necessarily as a collective group. And shout out to DJ Spinner who produced that. And
it was dope.
Estrogen was a big deal. I remember it, quite vividly, even though it was many years ago. shout out to all those amazing women, just super talented people, you know, just creatives and artists, and they've all done different things after that as well, you know, still very much present in different ways. Yeah. So it was really good to be a part of that.
And I noticed you weren't on the first Juggaknots album, right? Like you weren't on the
this is why.
EP.
This is why, you know, so to the story that I was just telling.
You said you was secretly writing.
Getting ready.
So I was secretly writing. I was secretly writing from a space of just inspiration. I wasn't writing at the time with the intention of saying, hey, I want to be a Juggernaut member. So let me be clear on that.
Okay.
I was just like, I love hip hop. You know, I'm coming home after school much younger than even that. You know, Video Music Box was a foundation for me. That and Bob Ross and then Video Music Box, which the dynamic of who I am. You know, I'm a visual artist, I'm an MC. So it was like I got both the sweet and sour chicken in one, you know, little setting after school. And so for me, you know, hearing things like Paper Thin with Light, you know, I mean, I was just inspired and in love with the music and the sound and the culture, period. And then having that at home and seeing it, you can't help but be inspired. Like you get a whammy. So again, I was just, and I saw my brothers, not all the time, but they were going to Chungking and Calliope and D&D Studios. So like my introduction to hip hop much younger was from a different vantage point of not necessarily being in the booth, but certainly seeing those things happen. And so, yeah, I was writing, but I wasn't writing with the intent of, I want to be a Juggernaut member. I was writing with the intent of, I love this. This hip hop shit, I don't know if I can curse. This hip hop stuff is amazing.
Feel free.
This hip hop stuff is amazing. I'm trying to curb it anyway, but this hip hop stuff is amazing. And, you know, I just want to work on the pen. I was coming from a space of just craftswomanship. And that was the ideology for me. And so as I got better, what started to happen is my brothers were hearing about me rhyming and other like friends' birthday parties. Like, yo, did our sister just grab the mic at a Sweet 16 and split? So they were hearing stories about that. And they were like, yo, what's going on? And so then we started revisiting and I would share things. And, you know, Breeze is like a straight scientist with it. So he'd be like, yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, it's not there though. It's not ready yet. And I tell stories sometimes about like drills, and my other brother, Kev, would be like, if you can't rhyme over something where like they're already rhyming, you're not ready. Or if you can't rhyme something where the speed is much faster, on, you know, speed up the BPM, like on playing a record, an instrumental. Like for me, shout out to, you know, I mean, I listened to Who Got the Props was probably one of my favorite instrumentals to just like practice to, you know.
Beat Miners.
You know, when you think about, Beat Miners, who was fam, like, you know, Mr. Walt and Evil D. I mean, they're just really good people too. And then later on, you're like, wow, these are just good people who happen to be incredibly talented and foundational artists. And so, yeah, it was like drills and getting better. And then eventually there were opportunities and it was like, all right, well, kind of let's see what she does. And I think the first one out the gate that people publicly heard was, you know, Indelibles. And we were at that point doing shows. So it was like, okay, Juggaknots is doing a show. All right, yo, let's bring, you know, Lil Sis through.
Damn, so that was your first track that you recorded?
No, not at all. Absolutely not. You hear how polished that was?
Big track?
No, yeah.
The first big track that you on, I guess.
Yeah, that was the first that got notoriety where people started making the association and saying, oh, Indelibles, you know, part of Indelible MCs and things like that. I hope y'all can't see those messages. Jeez Louise.
Nah.
Oh, no.
I'm about to say, damn, bro, stop texting me. Talk about that later. Anyway, So yeah, that was the first, I think, notable one where people were like, okay, to your thing too, like the album. When we did the re-release of the album, Projections, which is on the re-release, that was something that I did record much younger, and it never became a full song, but it was one of my favorite things. I remember being in the booth and recording in the Bronx and my brother, you know, at the home studio in the X, and Kev was like, yo, finish that. and I didn't. And he was like, you need to put another verse and you need to put a hook, and I didn't. But he had done the beat. The beat was so hard. It's just such a great production track. And I love the verse. And so he was like, you know what, when we put the re-release out, we're going to put it. And I think it was a way of him honoring, like, even though I wasn't part of the initial album, I was at that point for sure a Juggaknot member formally. And he just wanted me to feel as though, look, you have a place here as far as just with something public to be part of an album and a project that is really, really seen as a classic, because it is. And so I was just happy to be a part of that, you know, because that album for me as a fan, separate from a sister and an artist, is just it's just incredible music.
Dope, indeed.
They definitely like defined that grimy underground sound from the late 90s, beginning of the 2000s, man.
Yeah, they were foundational. I mean, they were foundational.
Yeah.
That's one cool thing, just
Classics.
being connected but not an integral part at the time, is that I remember, you know, being privy to just seeing what they were doing and how transformative it was. And for those who really remember and who were there, they know. Like, people who really know. They were just, they really laid down a lot of that foundational work for even the terminology when you associate underground and you think about Beto and Stretch and all of that. Like, they were founders in that. They really were.
Yeah.
I honor them from that standpoint as well.
We know.
I know y'all do. I'm just, you know,
No doubt. Yeah.
there are moments where I have to say that because I say it separate from a space of ego, like, oh, Juggaknots. I'm saying it as like, yo, these dudes, I'm a fan of what they were doing. And I remember seeing the work. And I was just really proud to just have the connection to saying, yo, my brothers were just doing incredible work from all the way back then.
Yeah.
Queen. Is it safe to say that you said earlier MC Lyte was an inspiration? Is she that one MC that inspired you?
Pick up the pen.
There's not one, but she is of the collective for sure. She's of the collective. I was heavily inspired by Lyte. The way, you know, the way Lyte dressed, you know, the asymmetrical, you know, hairstyle, you know, and also being around family, right? With, you know, being around family, because she was around family too. And so with audio too. And so for me, there's this sense of, I guess, relatability in that, right? You have these around you who are family and they're somewhat protective because of that space. But then you're of the culture, you're of it, and you're also really dope in your own right. And so there are a lot of, I think, similarities when I think about Lyte and when I think about how I came up and with my brothers, but being my own, you know, artist within that. And still this sense of protectiveness, you know, from other parts of what comes with that dynamic. So Lyte was definitely inspirational, more than I realized we had things in common in that regard. Until later on, knowing her story a little bit more. But certainly Latifah, you know, Inside Out is one of my favorite songs of all time. You know, so All Hail the Queen, it's like, you know, my name is Queen Herawin. So when I think about just aspects of what the power behind seeing what women were doing in that space. And, you know, it's a double-edged sword, because I really feel like I'm also very passionate and of the thinking, like, when you talk about visual arts, which I also do, you don't say, oh, this female painter. You say a painter.
Right.
Artist.
A sculptor. You say an artist.
Yeah.
Right? You don't make that distinction. But within this genre, within this space, there's a distinction. And I think there's reasons for that. But as an artist, they were both very instrumental. And there were more. You know, I'm a huge fan. I mean, Rakim, Microphone Fiend, I remember just being enamored with that video, you know, and so, and the list goes on and on.
All right. Hold on. Let me switch up the question then.
Yes.
If you stuck in the island and you had one choice of one album, one hip hop album to be stuck with, what would it be?
That's a dirty question, but I will say this. And again, it's going to sound like, are you serious? If I'm stuck on an album and I can't listen to any more hip hop, I'm going to go with my brother's Juggaknots album. I am.
Salute.
It's going to make me feel
Salute.
like not only am I connected to the culture and hearing
but you still got your fam with you.
I'm connected with my family. So if I had one, I'ma straight be listening to Lucifer, to I'm Gonna Kill You, to Epiphany. I'm gonna be listening to The Circle. So
that was a dope answer. That was a dope answer.
How I did that, right? That's what happens when you have family. Then you can answer those tricky questions very eloquently. Yes, sir.
All right, one more question from me because I got the fanboy behind me. Where did the name Queen Herawin come from?
Also, Breeze really kind of like ordained, like with the sword and stuff. And so it's been a journey of names, to be honest. It started off many years ago as P-Funk, because my actual name starts with the letter P. Then it turned into, It was Baby Joy, because I'm the youngest and my name means joy. And then it went from Baby Joy, which was a horrible MC name, to P-Funk, which was still quite bad. And then it became Queen Herawin. And then the spelling was different because we were having, there were a lot of articles and things written at the time with what we were doing and music bubbling, et cetera, et cetera. And people would spell it like Heron. Okay, Heron, in articles, Queen Heron. And so you'll see the duality of some things older were spelled with Queen Herawin, like the other day in the actual way you spell heroin. And the other day someone posted, it was a project that I had done with Black Spade, one song, and it was the old spelling. And I didn't even remember. I was like, oh man, it was spelled with that one. I'm even like, oh, that's before, Yeah. And so there are moments of that. And then eventually when that kept happening, I didn't like it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to change it to Herawin. And some days I'm like, I should have just kept it in a very defiant way, because it was really about people automatically going to the negative connotation rather than understanding, okay, heroin is a female hero, right?
Yeah.
Automatically, let's go to the drug, that association. And although, yes, it can be addictive, and I've even spoken about that lyrically in a metaphoric way, but, ultimately it speaks a lot about how we move mentally as a society. You just automatically bypass that and go to that. So I changed it, and after that, there was no confusion. So.
And Mady could definitely understand name changes.
Yes,
oh, God.
Yes, indeed.
He's had so many.
Yes, indeed.
But anyway, let's talk about the whole reason why you're here doing this interview. That album that you came out with this year, Awaken The Sleeping Giant. Let the people know about that.
Word.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of this album. I wasn't sure if it would materialize simply because I had taken a little bit of time. I wouldn't say away. I was doing collaborative work separate from music or in addition to music. I'm an educator. And so the juggle between the amount of time that responsibility just houses, and both of my brothers are also educators. And so that's something that we're all certified educators. Both Kevin Breeze teach in the Bronx. They've been in there for years. I teach more upper north. And so it's real. I like to say sometimes instead of writing rhymes, I'm writing lesson plans, which is real. This weekend, I still have to grade, and I also teach at a university. So I teach high school, and then I teach at a university as well. And
do you get feedbacks from your students?
So some of my students know, some don't. It depends on where I've been. I've been at a variety of schools.
That would be crazy, man. Oh, crazy.
Oh, no.
Someone's my teacher.
Oh, no. Some of them definitely know. The joke this year was eventually, so I proposed a hip-hop course for the curriculum, and the administration, they were like, yeah, let's do it. It sounds good. Great idea.
That's dope.
No, they know. When it's a fairly new job. When they brought me on board, on my resume, I just have it now. I don't, and again, this is another big conversation, but I don't separate them the way that I used to, and meaning MC educator. And so there'd be many spaces that had no idea that that's what they do. And although they may not understand the depth of it, when I applied for this particular job, I had it on my resume. So they were like, oh, that's nice. And we see you have teaching skills and X, Y, and Z. But let's really get down to it. Like, what's going on with the Juggaknots? And I was like, are you serious? It's hilarious. You know, shout out to the superintendent. He's a really cool guy.
Wow.
So yeah, there's spaces where they do know about it for sure. I've even had a student like, hey Queen, I'm like, nah, that's not how you acknowledge me. You know, I'm also very big in that space. Like, nah, I mean, I'll mess with them, but I'm like, nah. So, you know,
gotta keep it separated.
Gotta keep it to an extent. I mean, I definitely use hip hop, and just, I use it even in the way that I instruct. And some of it is just organic because this is who I am. So, I mean, for instance, how I speak to the kids, I'll joke and I'll say something real quick and I'll check them. I check them. So they'll come out with a little sassy remark or whatever, and I'll check them quick and they're like, oh, you know, she ate you up. And I'm like, yeah, bars all day. So back to what I talk like that all the time, and they know that about me.
They need that though.
They do. And this is from these are freshmen, so they don't even know yet, you know, that part of me. But at the university, I've even taught a hip hop course. It's a culture course. So it's part of the way that I teach just by who I am. And then sometimes intentionally, I'll build it into curriculum. You know, I've done lessons where we're talking about visual arts and I'm talking about Biggie and I'm making associations. So, you know, it's how I teach is who I am, but I definitely don't separate the two that much. And then I separate it enough where there can still be a sense of professionalism in both spaces for who I am in that role at that time.
Word. That's dope.
That's what's up.
Salute to you and your brother for the education.
But yeah, about the album.
Yeah, back to the album. See how I can go on a tangent with the education.
Yeah, one more teacher, go listen to the album.
For sure. So with the album, what happened was after the hiatus and I did some like collabs, I started working on a couple of loose verses, and they didn't have any real form yet. As a matter of fact, the first track I worked on was Anger. I was living in Chicago at the time, and the producer is also from Chicago. Shout out to Marlon. And I didn't know it was going to be an album. I was just working on creating. And then I moved shortly after that back to New York. And I had already had my verse for Anger, and I had already had my verse for Denial. It was at the time called I'm Okay. And I came home, and after a while, Breeze had put out his album Hindsight. Shout out to Breeze with Hindsight. I was helping more from like an admin position. You know, yes, absolutely. So I was helping with that, you know, with just like creating footage and like, you know, things like content. And then when I saw him really like wrapping up his album, I started again back to that original question. You have it right there, you know, hip hop home, you know? And so started getting like, you know what? I'm inspired by him and what he was doing. And and just the collective, the family dynamic with the work. And I said, let me really start taking this taking this work serious rather, and formulating an album. And at that time, I started thinking about collaborations I wanted to make. People were certainly submitting tracks, you know, looking to work together. And it started to slowly but surely gel. And when I heard Denial, I had a conversation with another artist, and I had played Anger, and he was like, yeah, this is dope. You should consider the idea of exploring different emotions on this project, like as a soundboard for like the concept. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. And although Kendrick obviously has Damn, you know, and I was thinking about that, I'm like, it's very similar, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm going to address and approach it the way I'm going to approach it as an artist. Artists have similar ideas, just how you execute it. And and so I said, you know what, cool. I thought it was a dope idea. And then I started really being intentional, and the speed and the pace of things coming together moved a lot faster because it had something to ground itself to. Yeah.
Right.
And then the collabs are crazy. I worked with
Illa's on there.
Yeah. Illa is on Denial. Pretty Bully is on Denial. As a matter of fact, you know, a little secret drop is that we actually are working on a video for that Illa is going to work on doing. And so it's a little bit of a pre-drop. but we'll have some cool visuals to share for that. But yeah, Ella and I, that's fam now. I respect what he does, obviously, as so many people do and should. And we were talking and how that song came about. Sometimes we'll just build and talk and I'll send him stuff. Sometimes he'll send me things back as well. We'll listen just as artists and friends. And he heard it and he was like, that's the sexiest mental health song I've ever heard in my life. I need to be on it. And he was like, yo, send that to me. And I said, for real? He was like, yeah, I need to be on that. Just send me the track. So I sent it to him and I want to say, I don't know, before the day was out, he sent it back. And I'm like, is everything good with this? And he had already written, recorded, and sent it back. And I was like, wow, okay.
That's dope.
Yeah, so he was serious about it. And I'm, just really happy to have that collaboration and so many. I mean, Poison Pen, who is a dear friend of mine, and we've known each other for so long. That's the other thing, is like a lot of these folks are people I've known for a very long time because of what we do. And creating together is just at a certain point, like what else could you want? Just collaboration and camaraderie.
Shout out to the production. Name some of the production you got on here.
Oh yeah, so King Rem with Open Mike Eagle. It's like Open Mike Eagle. Come on. Shout out to Mike too, because we actually have the same birthday. I realized that he's such a good dude and hilarious. He's a comic, but just an amazing creative. So he's on the project King Rem produced called Shame.
Superstition you had on there. I wish you had him on there rhyming too.
I know we also have other work that we've done, like collaborative stuff
coming soon.
That hasn't been released yet. Okay. That's coming. Yeah, absolutely. So Super was a contact through Breeze. I was fortunate to connect with, and what an amazing guy, super talented, multi-talented. And we did that collaboration together. So production-wise, we had Super. We also had through Penn, I was connected to Johnny Slash, which he produced Arrogant. It's just a whole slew. Oh, I cannot forget. He'd be so mad at me. Bear One.
Salute.
The Focus joint. Yeah,
Bear One. He did Focus. He also did Love, featuring Akil Ali and my homegirl, my sister Rachel Walker. I mean, the list literally goes on. There's a lot of collaboration on here. And sometimes you think, well, maybe it's too collab heavy. People like to only hear whatever, only you. But it felt right. I mean, Apathy is fam. I mean, like you get Mickey Facts. I mean, with the joint. I mean, so there were like real intentional collabs. Power featuring my homegirl Key Turner. Key and I know each other from way back when we were part of a group called Gypsies. Shout out to my other sister, Seven and MFW. Talk about the female Wu-Tang. It was like that many years ago. And then my brother B Money, who is family, he produced that track, and B Money is iconic in his own right. A lot of people may not know because he's so quiet and humble about it, but he's done production for Jay-Z. He's done production, like he's a monster. He did Juggaknots stuff previously with a track called New Money on the last album, Use Your Confusion. He's just a beast as well, but super humble. Who else? What am I missing? Oh, Jay DePina. He did Anxiety, which is one of my favorite tracks too. Trying to think of what else. Oh, and Neff Beats with Gluttony with my brother. I can't do an album.
I think that was the first single you put out, right? I'm not mistaken.
So Anger was actually like out kind of before, and then then Gluttony came out. And shout out to MP, who is from Memphis. Again, another quietest kept missile, and that's why when Illa heard that, he was like, "Who is that?" And although he doesn't have the notoriety like a lot of other producers do, he has such a soulful sound. And so some of the collaboration was just not like, yo, this is fam. Some of this was, these are people who I think are just so talented and may not have that boost behind them, but deserve to be seen. And I think that's an important part of collaboration as well, is bringing voice and visibility to people who have super talents, but may not have that audience,
Yeah. I feel you. Now the title name.
Yeah.
I kind of have an idea where the title name comes from, but let the people know where the title name.
Yeah, the title name is somewhat self-explanatory, you know, like, so it was about awakening. I had stayed away from project work for a while.
Yeah.
And it was about really coming back to a space of creating, connecting, collaboration. And I've been seeing things recently, which is so real. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about what is happiness. And the lady was like, happiness is contentment, but contentment for me, meaning her, she was like, comes out of just being creative and making things. And so, you know, as creatives, as artists, making things is really where your kind of happy place is and what awakens your spirit, what brings you back to your authentic self. Because life does happen. You can get caught up in all kinds of things, you know, parenting, regular 9 to 5, whatever. So
life be lifing.
Yeah, life be lifing.
Right.
So you have to come back to what makes you you and what feeds you in other ways that other things can't and just don't. And so the album really did that for me. It gave me something to be like, okay, let me look forward to this after the 9 to 5. Let me awaken that spirit and that love for what I do and the passion for what I do. And it was really about that, coming back to a space of power and creativity and just contentment with what I do and who I am. So that was really big.
That's dope. That's dope.
But the album is definitely one of those albums that you have to like really sit down and listen to.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Give it multiple listens.
Yeah.
I just
Not
want to
that.
put this out there though. If it wasn't for these two guys, I would
Right.
not know you or your brother.
I
Yeah, we
appreciate
are
that.
hip hop nerds.
So
yo.
they put me on. But what's the crazy thing is you and your brother are from my neighborhood.
Yeah, we
Oh,
found that out.
okay.
When
I
we
didn't
had
know
Breeze
that.
on here.
I'm from
Yeah.
the 234th and White Plains Road.
Oh yeah, are you Jamaican?
Nah.
Are
I'm
you?
a Puerto Rican that was.
Okay. Close enough.
Yeah.
We family. We warm family. Yeah.
I'm the
'cause
Jamaican.
Oh, okay. There it
Yeah.
is. There it is. Because Northeast Bronx is straight. White Plains Road.
Yes, Yachty.
Bronxwood, Gun Hill Road, straight.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Word.
But
Yachty.
nah, I'm always a big fan because you guys are from where I'm from, and then they put me on, and I'm loving your music, loving your brother's music. So
That's
it's a
what's-
pleasure for me doing this right now, interviewing you.
Well, I'm
Know what
so
I mean?
grateful, and this is
And
why.
even more of a pleasure for me and M80 here.
Yes, indeed.
They're the big fans.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up. I'm very
Word.
grateful. I'm very grateful. Without these moments and opportunities, it's like, how do we share the culture? It looks very
Yeah.
different now. So I'm in gratitude for those opportunities.
Speaking of, I mean, I feel like there's a big 360 going on with hip hop right now.
Definitely.
I think the real lane is opening up right now for us. You know, it's true hip hop now. You know, we got what we had Arrested Development, what they called it now, contemporary adult hip hop.
Yeah,
Contemporary,
yeah.
yep.
Well,
Yeah, it is adult hip hop. I mean, that's what this album is. It's talking about real
Yeah.
things that we
Yeah.
go through. And I think it's been that, right? I think it's been it in a lot of ways for a while. Maybe we hadn't given it a title. There's been a lot of in-between moments of I don't want to say fluff, but you know, as far as content, because you're gonna have party joints, but we are aging with hip hop, right? So
Yeah.
naturally it's going to start to reflect a little bit of a different sound, as it should, right? Artists should be talking about how they're feeling, what's going on, and the reflection of the times. And if your time is changing, then what you're saying is going to change a little bit.
Exactly.
But it shouldn't stay the same. Doesn't mean the vein isn't in the same space, but you know,
Word.
yeah.
the love grows old too.
Yeah, but what's dope is that the younger generation is checking for the older generation. Like
Yeah.
they're going back and checking on,
Yeah.
you know, what
They
we
searching
grew
and
up
recover.
on. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
analyzing it.
I mean, and that's the beauty of hip hop. It's the one genre and space I feel like, not that it can't happen and doesn't happen in others, but you know, I was having this conversation the other day too. Like, there's such an overlap generationally. You know, my daughter, she's ahead. She could rhyme too, and yeah, she
Oh
could.
man, next generation.
Next
Speaking
best
of-
kept secret.
Well, that's the beauty, like having your children, you know, and they're exposed to these
Wow.
things. You know, Breeze's son produces, Kev's son is an artist. You know, my daughter.
That's dope.
you know, it runs and it continues in that way. But we'll have conversations. I played one day, I played Cannabis, you know, I was playing a verse from Cannabis. She was like, yo, did you hear what he said? I'm like, yes.
Those are the best times of our lives.
You know, that's why I'm playing it. There's a real appreciation for the craft and the culture. And yet she'll put me onto stuff. We had a whole conversation yesterday about Cardi's new album. She was like, yo, which joints were you feeling? And we were going through the joints and I was like, yeah, I'm feeling this one, this one, this one. And I was like, this one is not my favorite, but I understand the strategy of why she did it was really thin. We're just analyzing the album and I'm like, damn, this is beautiful. You know, like what's because it becomes a connection.
That is dope.
And Mady could relate to that.
Yeah. Because my son's into producing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you know, and he only listens to underground hip hop, which is, you know, I mean, that's because of me, you know what I mean? So he knows a lot about, you know, the new stuff, the old stuff, the in-between stuff. You know what I mean? So
good.
Yeah, and he's patterning a lot of his stuff that he does off of like old producers. Like he'll go back and he's listening to like Ninth Wonder right now. He was listening to Jay Dilla before, MF Doom. So that's what he does, you know?
That's dope.
It's a beautiful thing, and it makes, like I said, not just a space for connection, but it's expansive for all of us. You know, similarly, she'll put me on to people I don't even know. Even in the classroom, you know, I'm like, who's that? They're like, yo, you don't know who that is? I'm like, nah, I don't. Who's Lil something again? Well, Lil, like I have my jokes about Lil. I'm like, Lil.
Some young, some.
You know, so, you know, but even in that space, it connects us, you know, and, you know, I'm like, what are you listening to while you're drawing? Oh, 21 Savage. Okay, that's what's up. Like, so I'm able to have those connections and conversations even with my students. So, and that's a whole nother age group. So hip hop, it just brings.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing right there.
All right. I know you was away for a while and dropped this album.
Yeah.
And again, the album is dope.
But are we gonna be consistent now? Are we gonna get another album?
Hold up.
EP?
Hold up. Before that.
Fired. Come on. Be careful with the X. The X firing shots. So, you said hold on. Go ahead, M80. What were you gonna say?
Before that, I'm just gonna jump a couple questions ahead.
Please.
Are we going to expect to see, because your brother put out an album just recently, you put out an album just recently, Juggaknots? You know the question was coming, right? Yeah.
The question always comes, and I will say this: it's always in the mindset. It's always in the mindset. I will say
at least an EP or something.
I will say for sure that Breeze is working on new music that's about to be out soon. I will say that some independent work that's going to be coming through Matic through our label.
All right.
Shout out to, you know, my brother Fever helping with, you know, just the orchestration behind the business.
Salute to him.
Acumen. But yeah, Breeze is working on some incredible work that's going to be dropping soon. And I have just recently started working on some new work. Here's the thing though, and this is what people don't see.
Let's hear it.
It's a beautiful thing. But when collaborations happen and people hit you for collabs, it's because they're excited, they respect what you do. But time is, you know, so if I'm doing collab, that could have been half.
It's a setback.
It's not a setback, it's just energy in a different direction. And so, you know, it helps because it keeps your name out and people are like, word, that's dope, which is great. It's all promotion and it's collab. But at the same time, it does require time and energy. And so what is a verse on one person's project could be a verse on that album, whether we're talking about Queen Herawin's new project or Juggaknots thing. So, and again, like I don't teach once or twice a week. I teach every day. And some days you know, some days I teach at the high school and then right after I'm literally at the university. So it comes down to time. You know, it really comes down to time. And you know, I'd love to say, yeah, we got a Jugs album on the way. We don't. Do we talk about it? Absolutely. Do we talk about it? Absolutely. But now you're talking about time. How we gonna figure that out? And it's a real hustle. Sometimes I'm like, damn, when's the last time I seen Breeze? You know, like, just seeing him. Ask my brother, or when's the last time, so it's a great question. And it's something as grown as we talk about grown hip hop, like we grown people with families juggling all the things. I was talking to Poison Pen earlier. That's my friend. And I was like, yo, Pen, the balance, man. He was like, that's the magic word. The balance, figuring out the balance. So Queen Herawin stuff on the horizon. I don't have a timeline, but I have a producer that I've really fallen in love with his work. And it might be a project that's like just produced by one artist. Oh. I haven't done that yet.
Say his name.
I'm super picky. I won't say his name yet, but I'm gonna save something for a little mystery. But he's incredible. He has worked with a host of people, very respected, and so I'm excited. So yeah, there's stuff in the works.
Is there one collab, since you mentioned the collabs? Is there one collab that you can say that'll spark some speculation?
Something that might be coming out soon.
Another secret society. There was a collab that didn't happen on this album. That oh man. All I know is
you saved it.
I have it. I definitely have it. And the artist was like, "Well, you took forever." Talking about time, he's like, "You took forever. I thought you wasn't trying to, work on the joint." So I had to give it to this person. I was like, oh, heart be still. But I respect, there's no way you could not respect this artist. And when I heard who it went to, I was like, well, I can't wait to hear what he does with it. I'll say he, I was like, oh, wow. So there are collabs that don't happen, but collabs that are on the horizon. Because of my process, I don't know who the features are going to be yet, other than Breeze, because Breeze will always be a feature. But I will say that the producer, again, he's just really incredible. And if I had people, I'd share at least one or two, but I don't know. I'm the type of person who listens to a track and I'm like, oh, I could hear them on this. It's very specific. I don't just have a dope track and I'm like, oh, let's just get anyone. No, when I heard the original beat for what was supposed to be Arrogant, I was like, I really gotta have Pen on that. And then I lost the track. He sold it. And Pen, I was like, Pen, I'm heartbroken. This is the track. And it already had the idea of Arrogant. And he was like, you know what? The sound that you're looking for, based on the track that I had lost, he was like, Johnny Slash is gonna have something in the pocket of that tone. And because he's so excellent at what he does, meaning Pen, he could hear it. And Johnny's so excellent with his sound. When I heard the new beat, I don't even remember the old track.
Wow.
That's not easy to do. So I'm just saying that to say, like, I'm very intentional and manifest. When I heard that beat from Super, I was like, Apathy, Mickey. Like it's science for me with collaboration, because I got to hear you on it. So I haven't, there's one joint on the new stuff that I know I want Breeze to do. And he the other day was like, yo, we should do a back and forth joint. We've never done something like that. Yes. And I was like, Breeze, that would be so dope. And then the track that I heard, it kind of switches up every 4 bars musically. I haven't even told Breeze yet that the track I like for him and I to get on, I was like, we should do the back and forth on that. I should probably call him and tell him that. But yeah, so yeah, I know Breeze for sure, and I'll have some more goodies as it rolls around, but I need to hear it first. Yeah.
So 2026, right? 2026.
Yeah, I think it's definitely doable for 2026. I have people on my wish list, I'll say that. I just got to make sure that it sounds like I could hear them on it and that they're down to do it, which I believe they will be. I've heard some people like, word, I'm down to collab. And I'm like, for real? So hopefully it'll be some of those people soon.
Word, that'll be dope.
And let the people know where they could get this album.
Sure.
And I don't know if do you have any vinyls left?
I do. Of course, I have one here just so I can.
There you go.
Okay.
The album is sold out, I believe, online. It was available on Bandcamp. I only have a very limited few for shows, so that I have some merch while I'm doing that. But it is available digitally, so you can get it on all digital platforms. You can purchase it through Bandcamp digitally. or you cannot purchase it and just listen to it, other platforms, stream or whatever. But you should probably purchase it so that eventually I don't have to get
so that way she can make more dope music, people.
Word.
That's how it works.
Yeah, but it's available digitally. You can go anywhere and find it online pretty much.
Support the artists.
Word. And let the people know where they could find more, find out more information about you, like your
social media,
Instagram, TikTok, if you got one,
Absolutely.
website.
So I will say that I'm really bad with the platforms other than Instagram. I'm consistent on that. So you can find me at The Queen Herawin, spelled HERAWIN. So at The Queen Herawin on IG, and you can also find me. You'll find Kev, and then he'll find me if you want me that way through Matic or the Juggaknots, which is the IG is at the Juggaknots, JUGGAKNOTS. Those are the two best ways to locate me. IG is really where I'm at more than anywhere.
And use your Googles, hip hop. Use your Google.
Tap in.
Search and recover.
Listen to all the old stuff too, man.
Classics.
Got some well, we played some shit. So.
Just get familiar.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it's been a pleasure.
Word, it's been an honor and a pleasure, man.
Honors.
We salute you.
We love you. If you have any more joints, projects, you and your brother and the Juggaknots, bring them to Underground Arsenal Show. We will promote.
Definitely. I definitely will. We will. And I just want to say I really appreciate y'all, the love and the consistency with reaching out, and your fans like to have you, because y'all definitely be making sure that folks come through who actually create real music, and I just appreciate what you guys do. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
And man, shout out DJ Fatal Skills, Lebronx, and M80 in the building. Appreciate it.
But yo, Queen Herawin, like I said, it's been a pleasure. But please take us out with this joint we're about to play.
Yes, indeed. So we about to, outro this situation with anger, even though we're not angry at all, because this was a dope, situation. So shout out to y'all, and shout out to Marlon Solitaire King, the producer of Ango, my little Chi-Town Connect. So anger, but don't be angry. Just listen and enjoy it and love it.
Word.
The Underground
Arsenal Show on the Raw 808 Underground Radio. Make sure to get that out.
Get it.
And if you miss a show,
go
go
to
to uashow.com.
Log on.
The Raw.
Yes, sir, Reefus. This is Lebronx.
And this is your boy M80.
And DJ Fatal Skills on the ones and twos. Tune in every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to the
Underground Arsenal
Show, where we interview your favorite artists and play all the fly joints.
On the Raw 808 Underground
Radio.
Hip hop, how it should be heard.
If you missed the episode, go to the uashow.com. Log on.